I'm in my excited era, okay? Because this is really fun to talk about. Normalize bringing the fun back into manifestation, okay? I know that there's a lot of content on robotic affirming, and I do love robotic affirming, okay? I'm not saying anything against it ever. You can always affirm that every single method works for you, right? Never ever, okay, never against it, never against it. Nobody ever say I'm against it, okay? But, however, if there are times where you feel like you are bored and you just want to bring that excitement and that state of being of like, I can do this, and that fun and whimsy excitement, girl, why are you even questioning it? Sing a song, put a subliminal, look on Pinterest. What else? I even said on my TikTok channel, making fan fiction of yourself, but in the first person point of view, like it's kind of like a scripting thing. Be fun. The reason why this is important is because not everyone, girl, but a lot of people I've seen that give up on manifestation, they don't make it fun for themselves, okay? You don't have to do everything like everybody else. You can literally visualize. I like visualizing before bed, or what else? Acting as if. There's so many different methods out there, and it's like you don't have to just stick to one thing. It also helps you not affirm from lack. And I know some people say that affirming from lack is not a thing. However, if you are affirming and you're instantly checking the 3D and you're being swayed by the 3D and you go, man, it's not happening, babes, then yes, you are affirming from lack. However, if you make it fun and whimsy, or even if you're just like saying your affirmations, just even being at a neutral place, okay? Being at a neutral place and not caring about the 3D, or not focusing on it and knowing that it's subject to change, especially when you're moving around your assumptions in your mind, that is just so much better. And babes, like, I've been there. That's why I say, like, for me, in my old state of being, like, affirming from lack was real, because that's what I was doing, and I did not understand affirmations or the point of doing affirmations. Like, whenever you do whatever method that you choose to do, you want to do it to give yourself that feeling, give yourself that experience, and validate yourself from the internal world. Not looking at the external world and being like, where is it, guys? Because, okay, and I'm not making fun of you, by the way. I say that because I've literally been there. So take my mistakes and learn from them, okay? And you can get what you want even more instantly. When I say don't check the 3D, I know the word don't is kind of a little bit, because like psychologically when you say don't do something, right? Or don't think of a pink elephant. You might instantly visualize a pink elephant. So when I say that, instead of check the 3D, check your inner reality. Let's say that. Check your inner reality before checking the 3D as finite. Because the reason why I don't recommend checking the 3D is in the beginning of me manifesting, when I saw something I didn't like and I was checking the 3D, I became reliant on it. That's why I don't recommend that, especially in the beginning, because when you get more into the process of manifesting and you get your wins and you understand, okay, this is really a true thing and not a thing that people are just talking about to talk about it, then yes, it will be a lot easier when you accidentally check the 3D, or it will be easier to resist checking the 3D, or it will be easier to go inside and internally. I just don't recommend looking at it at all, because it's really not my business how it comes about. I can only, even from a non-manifesting perspective, okay? Logically, I can only control myself. I can't manipulate or, force something, right? Because even if I do, the forcing kind of like backfires, okay? Not saying that as a limiting belief. I'm just saying that because that was my former experience. Not my experience anymore, but it was my former experience. And so if I know that I can't manipulate the 3D and just do this and have everything change, just like how I can't look in a mirror and then change by touching the mirror and trying to force the mirror to mold in a certain way, then why would I even consult the 3D if I know that I could change the 3D from consulting the 4D, which is your internal reality, right? If I can internally validate myself, and then without me thinking about it, it changes naturally with my assumptions and with my self-belief. So if you know you have no business looking into the 3D or forcing the 3D, then all you have to do is go within and tell yourself what you want to see to reflect it. Why would you try to seek validation from the outside world if you know that you can only get the validation you want from going within? This is why I also don't like talking about SPs. Like, I know I manifested my SP. In my SP, I manifested out of thin air. And I know I've talked about it or mentioned it once in a video, but the reason why I don't like talking about it too much is because when people are manifesting their SP, they make it about the SP. And I feel like that's the first wrong step. Manifesting an SP is never about SP. It's always about how you think and feel about yourself. And even then, whenever you're engaging in any type of relationship, you engage in it to feel good and to have a nice relationship that you want to have. So if we know that everyone is you pushed out, right? And your SP is only reflecting how you think and feel about yourself, why would you overly focus on them? But anyways, have you ever had an ex or someone you were talking to or whatever the case may have been, and then all of a sudden when you don't like them anymore and you focus on yourself, they want to like you? It's not because you have to drop your feelings towards them. It's because you were focusing on yourself and you were fulfilling yourself and you were in a state of being of fulfillment. So therefore, they had no choice but to come and reflect that to you. So I recommend, like, if you're manifesting an SP for the first time, to either try to like manifest a friend, like a random friend that you make up in your mind, or a stranger, or someone, like even just like a good interaction that you would want to have, because then you prove to yourself, okay, it's true. You don't go into this waiting, you know what I mean, this cycle of waiting that people go through because they're overthinking it and they're like, is this real? And so if you know that and you can prove to yourself of that, then you have these small wins that build up and up and up, and then you can build your self-belief. That's why I say try to manifest someone you don't care about first. Not because it's limiting, but because you don't want to overthink it for yourself. You just want to show yourself, okay, this is real. Now that I've done this, boom, SP, instantly. Because you don't have to wait. Now you realize you could be an instant manifester, not by forcing, but by being. Let's summarize this, okay? Tailor your manifestation experience to you. If you like music and music makes you feel really good and you love manifesting through music, do that. Okay? You don't have to manifest in the same way that everyone else does. But if you do see that everyone else, the way they're manifesting does work for you, do that. Literally do whatever works. You don't have to copy a blueprint of this is step 1, step 2, step 3. When people are saying something and it resonates, take what resonates, leave the rest. Even in my videos, okay? In my videos, I'm mostly talking from my experience. So if you see something in my videos you don't like, take it out. Don't think about it. Skip to the part that you like. Okay? You can do that and tailor your own experience, just like how the algorithm tailors your experience to the things you like. Do that with manifestation. The second thing, the 3D is irrelevant. Because the more you check it, the more you give it importance, okay? That's not to be limiting. That's not to be limiting. That's literally just to help you, because in my experience, that's what works, okay? Again, think about the first step. If it doesn't apply, let it fly, okay? But this has been my experience, and so this, not checking the 3D is what works for me, okay? And also, I just don't care anymore about it, so I don't check it. 3. Wait, what was the third thing I said? 3, keep it fun, okay? If you're not having a fun time, or even if you're not having a neutral time, you can have a neutral time. You can just be neutral about it and be like, you know what? But it's gonna happen. But I'm not feeling any crazy feelings right now, but it's gonna happen. Yeah, be neutral or positive. But if you're feeling like hurt and you're feeling triggered really bad, it's okay to just breathe and take a step back. You didn't do anything wrong. You're fine, and you can still get what you want. Because persisting, a lot of people have this assumption that persisting is like, I need it now. Do it now. Do it now. Persisting is just saying, you know what, 3D? You don't define me, and I'm still gonna get what I want. You don't have that importance to me. Because people persist all the time, and you don't even have to persist by affirming. You can just persist by being like, yeah, I decided this is how it's gonna happen. So please let me know if you have any questions down below. I'm always happy to clarify further, and I love you guys, and you guys can do this. If I can do this, I literally was the most skeptical person on earth, okay? I was in debate when I was younger. When I was 14, I was getting invited to debate tournaments. And I was the most logical, needing evidence type person. If I can do this, you can do this. If I can do this and I have my SP, I have my dream wardrobe like this, I have my dream perfumes, I have a bunch of like different things that I manifested, like my TikTok page having more followers, I've just been manifesting and I will keep manifesting. And you can too, and you can have anything you want. And don't let anyone in your reality tell you what you can't have, especially if they also have low self-beliefs. because you know, okay, they just don't believe in themselves, but I do, so I'll get what I want. They're not really my issue, because other things on the outside are not your issue. Going internally is all you ever need to do. No matter what method you do, methods are not there to manifest for you. You manifest for you. Okay? They're there to help, and you manifest for you because you have the power. You can empower yourself now. The only person you ever need is yourself. You got this. People have been manifesting for decades. My mom knows about manifestation. She uses manifestation. Like, her dad knew about manifestation and taught her manifestation, and that's how she was able to get her dream job. So it's just like people have been doing this for a long time. You don't need to question it. If you're questioning it, look at some more success stories, rewire your brain in that way. Don't rely on the success stories, but just take it as, you know what? They did this, so can I. How are they different from me? How am I any different from you watching the screen? I'm not. The only difference is my self-beliefs. That's literally it. That's literally it. If you ever feel like I have something that you don't, no, I don't. Because you can access whatever you want in the now, instantly. That's why they say manifestation is instant, because the instant you decide, something is already going in the works, okay? The minute that you affirm, let's say the minute you affirm for your dream job, okay? That's the minute that maybe a recruiter looks at your profile and says, huh. But the affirming, as long as you persist in that idea, right? My version of persisting, right? Not getting mean for the 3D, then that movement will come to fruition. And it can come to fruition really, 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 really fast. So you don't need to monitor it and you don't need to control it, because all you need to do is feel good and focus on you. And therefore it will manifest. You don't need to wait. You don't need to pay anyone, okay? You just need to believe in yourself.